The best tournament of the year is upon us once again. Worlds is an invite-only tournament for 24 of the season's best players with a lot of money and pro points on the line. Historically, the players would compete in a variety of interesting formats, but this time around it's going to be a real trench fight as they will be playing all of their constructed rounds and top 8 in an extremely old and well-explored standard format, and both drafts are Dominaria, which has been out for 5 months at this point. At least the Team Series finals will be something extremely fresh, playing Guilds of Ravnica Team Limited 2 full weeks before the set's release, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. 3 quick disclaimers as always. Number 1, these power rankings are just my opinion. Yes, I already know that you disagree with X person being too high or too low, and I actually do want to hear it, just do us both a favor and skip the anger. Number 2, I am friends with, or otherwise know, a ton of these players. These rankings are as impartial as I can make them, and I hope nobody takes offense to their placing. And number 3, the edges in this event are minuscule. All of the players are so good that it's really difficult for anyone to stand out in the field. The person I rank last is only slightly less likely to win the whole tournament than the person I have ranked first. All of that being known, let's get to it. Well, somebody has to be last, and unlike previous years, there's no gimme slot such as an unknown Mox champion or the Rookie of the Year. That leaves us with Pro Tour champion Wyatt Darby, as he has by far the least career pro points in the field. Even I have more pro points than him, and I'm terrible. In fact, his 30 for winning the Pro Tour accounts for over half of his career mark. He just doesn't have the resume or experience as his world's competition. There's not nothing working in his favor though, as the PT he won was Dominaria, which is almost the same format, with M19 having been added to standard, but drafting is the same set that he 6-0'd back in Richmond. Team Hot Sauce games are number 21, 22, and 23 in any order you like. Even though they won the Pro Tour under that banner, Alan Wu isn't actually on that Team Series roster, or any roster for that matter, same as Darby. Also like Darby, these players clearly have some level of skill and show some amount of promise, but simply lack the pedigree of the rest of this illustrious field. Out of a field of 24, these players rank 20th, 23rd, and 24th in seasonal pro points, and in career points are 19th, 22nd, and 23rd. In terms of positives, Ben Hull has an impressive win rate, albeit in a small sample size, against this field. Orange's stats are the best of the 3, and he was in the standard seat at the Pro Tour. And for some reason, Alan Wu owns the desert with a top 4 at GP Vegas last year and a win in Albuquerque the year before. Matt Nass was the last player qualified, needing some pretty specific results from the Team Pro Tour in order to sneak into the 14th at-large slot. This may seem low for the 18th ranked player in the world, but most of his work was done at the GP level, where he had the second highest win rate of the field at 69.5%. And a lot of that was done in Modern, which they will not be playing in Vegas. He's only won half of his matches at the PT level this season, the second lowest mark in the field, leaving him in the 20 spot, though Matt has proven he can go off and win a tournament, and if he finds a deck he likes, then all bets are off. Again, the 9th ranked player in the world being this low is a testament to the strength of the field and not a slight against the player. His PT top 8 came a full year ago, and while Rolf has had a fantastic season, he simply doesn't have the resume of the rest of the field. Only Darby and 2 of the Team Hot Sauce guys have lower career pro point counts, and he has yet to beat anyone else in this tournament. Again, only 9 matches is obviously a small sample size, but it's up to John to prove that he can compete with the world's elite. The last of just 3 competitors not on a Team Series roster, Elias earned the Draft Master title with an amazing 16-1-1 record across 6 drafts through 3 Pro Tours. That led him to a 69% win rate at this season's PTs, which is good for 3rd in the field among players who played all 4. The big mark against him is lack of experience, with the 5th lowest career pro point count. He's one of only 3 competitors who has never reached the elimination rounds of a PT or Worlds. While in Nationals and 5 GP top 8s is nothing to shake a finger at, he'll be coming to Vegas on the hunt for his first trophy. Our last ranked player is Metagame Guru's son's Matt Severa, who also doesn't have a PT top 8 yet, though he does have an impressive 4 GP trophies and 9 top 8s. Despite winning enough to secure the Constructed Master title, his win rate at this season's PTs was only good for 21st in the field, and his pro point counts have him ranked 19th for the season and 16th for career, leaving him at 17th on my list. Italy's perennial representative Andrea Mengucci is making his second appearance in this event, hoping to improve on his 5-9 performance in 2016, which has him at the lowest win percentage of everybody who has played it before. He's pretty much middle of the pack in terms of pro points and PT win percentage, but is near the bottom of the barrel for GP win percentage, which helps explain his surprising 0 career GP top 8s. Perhaps the most damning stat though is his 7-21 record against the other competitors, which is second worst only to Rolf's 0-9. Ken Yukuhiro is the lone APAC representative, as Yuya Watanabe is missing this tournament for the first time since he won the inaugural event in 2012. This is Ken's second trip after a 6-8 finish last year. He is, however, coming off of a top 4 finish at Japanese Nationals in this exact split format, and with a characteristically wild deck choice. He only played 6 GPs this season and top 8 at 2 of them, is on the reigning Pro Tour Team Series champion squad, and has 3 PT top 8s in 2 years plus 1 back in 2012. I don't know if he will add to his borderline Hall of Fame career this weekend, but he will definitely be the most entertaining player to watch. Gerry Thompson is also in his second Worlds after a 7-7 performance last year. Despite making the finals of Pro Tour rivals of Ixalan, his PT win rate this season is the worst in the field. At 19-20-1, he is the only competitor below 500. His head-to-head record is also right there at 19-20, and while his GP win rate isn't quite so medium, at 603 it's still only good for 19th in the field. The good news is that the format is very old and well explored, and the small known field means you can make some fairly accurate metagame assessments, and that type of tournament is exactly where Gerry thrives. Kowalski is admittedly the player I know least in this field, but he has had a truly fantastic season, highlighted by a second place finish in last year's World Magic Cup. He made it to number 10 in the world without making a single PT top 8. Only he, Brad, and Seth put up 4 GP top 8s this year, and while it took Seth 22 tries, it only took Kowalski 13, and he was able to bring home a trophy. With a total record of 11-13 against the rest of the field, the question for him will be whether he just farms weaker players at the GP level, or if he can cut it with the game's elite too. Braun-Duin crushed this event back in 2016, but for the first time in the history of this event, the reigning champion was not guaranteed a slot for the following year, and he failed to requalify just as last year's champion did for this year's Worlds. But BBD is back and he did it the hard way with an at-large bid with 57 points. With no PT top 8s and a poor 19-27 head-to-head record, BBD is looking to prove that he belongs in this elite company and that his title isn't a fluke. Speaking of past champions, Shahar Shenhar won this tournament back in 2013 and 2014, but after a disappointing 4-10 in 2015, he is only now requalifying after stepping back from the game a bit. He has racked up 5 team-limited GP top 4s in 4 years, and was a late addition to Team Metagame Guru's Moon when one of their players got suspended. He managed to accrue 57 pro points for the season and obviously know what it takes to win this tournament. The only question mark for him is if he's in the same playing shape as he was when he went back-to-back. The highest career pro point mark in the field belongs to Hall of Famer Martin Juza, who I had much higher in my first draft, but landed in a still respectable 10th. His PT and GP win rates this season both have him in 18th, though he did rack up 3 GP top 8s and a Team PT Finals appearance. Unfortunately, his 3 trips to this stage have not been so fruitful, sporting a 6-6 in 2012, a 2-10 in 2013, and a 6-8 in 2017. That's a win rate of 37%, only better than Mengucci's 5-9. On the plus side, he was in the standard seat for his Team PT Finals appearance, and has already had success in Vegas this season. Former Player of the Year Mike Sigrist is making his 3rd trip to Worlds with a total record of 13-15. His head-to-head record is a decent 16-14, and while Siggy has always been a fantastic limited player, he's also coming off of some standard finishes that bode well for him. He top-8'd a GP before the core set came out, then top-8'd another one this month, making his way to the finals with a completely different archetype. His preparation can only be helped by being part of Team Channel Fireball, one of just 2 Team Series squads to put 3 members into Worlds. Spain's Javier Dominguez was a player I initially had lower, but kept moving him up as I looked at his numbers, and I'm afraid I didn't move him up far enough. He got all the way to the finals last year, going 10-6, giving him one of the best Worlds win percentages in the field, albeit with a small sample size. His PT win rate was 55%, 21st of 24 in the field, but his head-to-head record is an astounding 19-9. That 68% win rate is best in the field by far, save only Darby and Hull, whose sample sizes are 8 matches and 10 matches respectively, while Javier played 28. Hall of Famer Ben Stark has played this event once before back in 2013, and top forward going 9-4, which is good for the 3rd best win rate in the field. His head-to-head record is a solid 33-28, but his PT win rate this season is 67%, which is tied for 7th best in the field among players who played all 4 Pro Tours. Among competitors, Ben is tied for the 6th most pro points on the season, and is in 3rd for his career. We know he'll do just fine in the draft portion, and with it being an old format and being on Team Channel Fireball, it seems unlikely he'll show up with something unplayable in standard. Brad Nelson is on the other team to qualify 3 members, Genesis, last year's Team Series runners-up. Brad's reputation as a GP crusher is well earned, as he posted an incredible field-leading 71% win rate, putting up 4 top 8s. Unfortunately, his PT win rate was a full 10 points lower, which is only good for 16th best. He does have experience in this style tournament, making his 4th consecutive appearance, as well as playing a similar event at Star City Games a few years ago. And while he won that one, this substantially tougher competition has proved problematic for him, with a total record of 18, 23, and 1. His head-to-head isn't much better at 29 and 32, but similar to Gerry, Brad excels at known metagames, particularly in Standard, and with plenty of time to practice the limited format, Brad could easily make it to Sunday. Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan champion Luis Salvatto has had a tremendous Pro Tour season, never doing worse than 10 and 6, giving him a 72% win rate, which is the tops in the field, tied with Darby, who only played 2 PTs, while Salvatto maintained it across all 4. Salvatto is part of Hallelujah Latin, which absolutely demolished the team series, racking up an astounding 215 pro points, beating the next team by 38. And Salvatto accounts for 37% of the team's score. His 81 points this year has him tied for the most in Magic, causing a playoff for Player of the Year. Hallelujah Latin's other player, Marcio Carvalho, is the only player to top 8 more than one Pro Tour this season, having made the top 4 of Dominaria and the 25th anniversary Team Pro Tour. He has elevated his game to a truly elite level over the past few years, though he did a bit of winning earlier in his career, and nobody knows how. He is ranked 4th in the world, 4th on my list, and has the 4th most pro points this season with 73, and has the 4th best PT win rate of competitors who played them all. This will be his 3rd straight year, going 10 and 5 with an intentional draw and a runner-up finish in 2016, and a 6 and 8 performance last year. The only question mark is an 18 and 23 head-to-head record, which possibly should be even worse than that. But there's no pretending like Marcio's not playing amazing Magic right now, and he's going to be a contender for Sunday. These last 3 or 4 slots could really go in any order. They are all such strong players that had such good seasons that it's really hard to say who belongs where relative to one another. But the whole point of this is that I have to rank them, so in 3rd I have Reid, who is 3rd in pro points at 78. His PT win rate is over 69%, behind only Salvatto. This will be his record-tying 6th trip to Worlds, a tournament only being held for the 7th time. He famously bombed the inaugural Players' Championship 2 and 10, but came back to be runner-up the next year, going 10 and 4. A 7 and 7 in both 2014 and 2016 before posting a 9 and 5 last year. The Ultimate Guard Pro Team will be the ones playing Hallelujah Latin in the Team Series Finals, and Reid's 78 points accounted for 44% of that team's score of 177. Worlds is ultimately a competition to see how the game's elite match up with their peers, and Reid's record against the rest of the field is 45 and 32 for a whopping 58.5% win rate. The only 4 better percentages have sample sizes of 10, 8, 21, and 20, while Reid's managed to maintain it through 77 matches. Hall of Famer Owen Turtenwald will also be playing in his 6th World Championship, with a runner-up finish under his belt back in 2015. Owen's overall record across 6 of these events is an extremely respectable 37 and 33. He's ranked 5th in the world and got the 5th most pro points this season, but despite middling win percentages this year and just a 36 and 40 head-to-head record, anybody who's anybody knows that Owen has been one of, if not the best player in the world for many, many years now. He's 2nd in the field in career pro points and 7th all time. Anybody who bets against him is doing so at their own risk. In 1st is the man who defeated Owen in that 2015 finals, #1 player in the world, and tied for the most pro points this season, Seth Manfield. He absolutely demolished that tournament 15 and 1, and then won a solid 8 and 6 in both years since, giving him an unbelievable 70.5% win rate in this invitation-only event of the best the game has to offer. Everybody in the same universe as him has a 1 tournament sample size. His mark is by far the best among players who have played multiple. His 34 and 29 head-to-head record is also near the top of the charts, and his PT win rate among competitors who played all 4 is 6th best. He's one of only 3 players to have posted 4 GP top 8s this season, including a top 4 finish in Richmond in this very standard format. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the coverage this weekend. Let me know in the comments or on Twitter what your power rankings would look like, as this one was really tough. If you have Owen 1 and Seth 2, I don't blame you one bit. I went back and forth on that one. The whole top 5 got shuffled around a few times. Shout out to Cool Stuff Inc. for making this video happen, and shout out to AGLVI on Twitter, the Yoshi behind the MTG ELO project, for providing some of these stats on Twitter. Go give them a follow, especially if you're a big stats nerd. Also, thank you for the overwhelmingly positive response to AJTV number 20. I appreciate it big time. If you haven't seen it, go check it out right here, and I will see you next time.